book I would recommend to somebody who's in the middle of a reading slump is, and I've been thinking long and hard about this because I was trying really hard to think of something that was fun and uplifting, and actually I keep coming back to Thérèse Raquin by Émile Zola, which is a book that I've read a couple of times, and I don't normally do that. It's full of murder and adultery and lust and guilt and madness, and so yeah, not the most uplifting of things. It's set in the back streets of Paris in sort of the mid 19th century, and it just draws you in from the get-go, and I just couldn't put it down. So I would like to think that if you can't get into a book, you'd be able to get into this one. And I would say enjoy it, but it's not really that kind of book. But yeah, I hope it goes well.
When I'm in a reading slump, I go back to old favourites, and one of those is One Day by David Nichols. I love it. It's one chapter is a day in the life of a couple, and you follow them through this day, and at the end of the chapter it cuts a whole year forward, so it sort of moves you along and jumps you along, and you find you're desperately reading each chapter, trying to find out if they can finally get together. So it's a book of great humour and poignancy, and I'm sure many of you have read it, but it gets me back into reading, and it's a real old comfort.
So I think if a friend came to me and they said they were in a reading slump and couldn't get into a book and didn't know what to start with, the book I would probably recommend that I've read is one called Red Notice. Now, it's a book by Bill Browder. He was an American fund manager, essentially, but it's a fascinating story. It's really details his time investing in Europe, investing in Russia especially, and how he gets himself in the most terrible trouble. And of course it's a true story, but the reason I would really recommend it is right from the get-go it delves into obviously a very charismatic character, eventually a very ethical and moral character, but it is so engaging right from the get-go. It's one of those books that you can't put down, and you finish whatever it is you're doing the day and you can't wait to pick it up again. So Red Notice by Bill Browder, and as I say, the fact that it's a true story just makes it, well, it makes it believable, because if it wasn't, I don't think you'd believe it, and especially in this climate with what's going on in many parts of the world, an absolutely great read. So yeah, Red Notice by Bill Browder.
Jill asked me the other day for recommendations for the book club, and I realised after a bit of thought that I don't have one. I have something called Sundoku. It's a way of life, and what it means is that I wander around bookshops, I look at the front covers, I look at the back covers, I enjoy books, I fall in love with books, I fall in love with their covers, I buy books, I have books at home, but I never get round to reading them. So it's the actual action of buying books and choosing books and learning about books. The intent is there all the time. I really think I'm going to really love them and enjoy them, and I'm sure if I was more disciplined I would. But it was just a funny conversation we had, and that's the word for it, Sundoku.
The book I recommend to friends that are fed up with romances and the standard format that they tend to fall in within is The Number One Ladies Detective Agency by Alexandra McCall Smith. It's about a lady called Precious from Botswana. It's set in Botswana, and she sets up the first ladies detective agency. So she has lots of sub-stories, but she does have a main crime to solve, and all the sub-stories can be quite entertaining, and there's a little bit of romance in there, but she's just a really strong, lovable character. So if you ever find you're stuck in a rut and you really don't know what to read, have a go at reading Number One Ladies Detective Agency. There's loads of books, I think there's about just under 30, and they're all really good reads, very entertaining.